snap, and Joel gets his number called again. Oh, nice little move to the outside, throws the shoulder at the 15, and that is the kind of...
Welcome in, guys, to Heard It Here First, your Central Texas showcase of premier talent. And this past week, we had the Taylor versus Manor New Tech game of the week. That's what we'll lead you off with today, as Taylor does get his first win of the season, pulling the W 44-14 against Manor New Tech, starting district 1-0, getting that first win of the season and getting that taste of victory. And I think that's going to be something we continue to see as Taylor stomps through this district. Fisher did have 3 touchdowns, as I thought he would, but he had only 51 yards carrying the rock, which was still great. 51 yards, 3 touchdowns. Seawood, man, Jamarcus Seawood has done a really good job. 7 receptions, 185 yards and a touchdown. And Eli Lawrence has now had 177 yards and a touchdown. Offensively, they did good. Defensively, Ethan Flagg had a really good night. I was watching the review on Max Preps with and he was all over the place. He also had a fumble recovery and a forced fumble. Steven Rogers, who's been doing excellent all year, he had 5.5 tackles on that game. Rangel 4.5 with a forced fumble, and Griffin getting the INT defensively. This week they will be going against the Austin Achieve. Austin Achieve has not scored this year, and they're a team that lost to Thorndale 61-0. Seawood has really turned it up as the wide receiver. Him and Calico are having really good seasons, and as of late, it's been Seawood. On the season, he has 14 receptions for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. Fisher now has 359 yards on the season and 5 touchdowns, and Lawrence getting close to that 1,000-yard mark at 882 yards, 6 touchdowns. So offensively, I think you're going to start seeing this Taylor offense click, and they have a lot of youth on the team too. So Taylor Ducks are ready to start seeing some winning football, and that's what you're going to see, guys. Defensively, Rogers is having a stellar season. He has 48 total tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles. Maravilla, 29 total tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. And Maravilla and the next gentleman I'm about to talk about, the 2 that I have been able to meet personally, who have a really good drive, who have really good leadership skills for these Taylor defense. Maravilla and Kezion Simeon. Simeon only had reported as 2 games played, but he's averaging 7 tackles each game. And that junior linebacker with Rogers and Simeon, them junior linebackers that you'll see the seniors leading this defense next year. Oh man, this is something good to watch. So your Taylor Ducks are on their first victory, looking for number 2, looking for a shutout this week against the Austin Achieve. Going to the Manor game. Oh man, it was such a tough loss against Westwood. I was able to be at that game as we lost 28-16. Now, the reason I'm smiling is because I knew this district was going to be this. There's only one team remaining that hasn't won a district game, and that's Stony Point at 0-3, who I'm telling you right now is going to win some district games. I knew there wasn't going to be one team in this district that never won a game. Last year, Cedar Ridge never won a game, and right now they're in second place with a 2-1 record. I honestly could see second place in this district having a 5-3 mark, and then third and fourth having 4-4 marks, and them all making the playoffs. I can honestly see this is how close knit this is. So, anyways, going to the Manor game, tough loss against Westwood. Westwood's a good team, and whenever they play like they did Friday night at home, they're lights out. Caius Coy, the defensive end, getting pressure on Manor all night long. Westwood had a really good defense, and then offensively, Norrell was able to break open a couple of passes, and just it wasn't like they just marched all over Maynard's defense. They had a couple of really big plays that they capitalized on and scored. So it was a tough game for Maynard. And Maynard's going to win more district games. It's going to be a tough district. The defensive tackle for Maynard and the defensive line pressure you'll see here in this clip. Man, our defensive tackle number 99 has done really good as of late. Last against Hutto, he had a pick. He has a sack in this game. Then again, and then in the next play, you'll see Cameron Clark connect. Camden's had 9 touchdown passes on the season. 6 of those have gone to Clark. Clark is a touchdown machine. Jordan Clark has been phenomenal all year. Another wide receiver that's really starting to step up is Bermea. I've seen him in the last 2 games getting making some really good catches, and so he's starting. There's so many offensive weapons. I think Johnson, the tight end, is Camden's go-to touchdown. Like that's the guy that you can sneak past the defense behind those linebackers. They're not paying attention with so many weapons and Clark and Johnny and Ronzel and Bermea, and then you have Johnson and the receiving core. Then you see Hill, who the last 2 games has now scored, and he just gets to the edge on this run, and this dude's got a second and third gear. He can definitely lead this backfield as a junior, and he's done very good. The dude's a really quick guy and gets to that third gear in no time. So you got a good accomplished running back, you got a good quarterback, you got good wide receivers. Your line has shown really good spurts, and against a good defensive front like you're going to have against Round Rock this week, you got to be quick. That's all there is to it. Camden's going to have to make quicker reads. He's going to have to get that ball out because the Round Rock Dragons defense has not allowed more than 21 points. Cody Moore is a really good coach in this defensive team. They lost to Cedar Ridge 21-20. They haven't not one team has scored over 21 points. They beat McNeil 45-14. So do I think Maynard can beat Round Rock if they play like they do it against Hutto? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another thing. And when it comes to the running game, there will be no. You don't try to carry out or stretch the play out. One cut, get upfield against a quick defensive front like this. You got to give your line the help of just getting into that hole and attacking as they're already making contact because this defensive line is going to be like many you have already faced, like Harker Heights, like Bowie, like Westwood. They are going to have a good defensive front. Justin Lee, their linebacker, is very good at getting pressure on the quarterback. He's already got 10 hurries, 18 total tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, and 2 sacks. Aiden Walker on the season already has 3 INTs. He had 3 picks last year. This is a defense that's going to be ready. So if you play really good, secure football, I think Maynard can win this game, mostly with them having Round Rock at home. So it's going to be a crazy, interesting district. Like I said, going to have to be quick. We're going to have to just attack their front and not stretch the play out or give them enough time for them to get the pressure or get to the running back. Just get there, get what you can get. Literally get what the defense gives you. Um, so they will be playing Round Rock at home. On the season, Camden has 69. He's 69 of 137 for 1,083 passing yards, 9 touchdowns. Clark is responsible for over half of those yards with 36 receptions, 590 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Hill has 284 yards on the ground. He's averaging 5.1 yards a total, 2 touchdowns. And like I said, Bermea coming around with 8 receptions for 84 yards. Jackson Cofield is an animal. That dude's got 29 total tackles, 9 tackles for a loss, 3 interceptions. He's everywhere. Osenare, I will get that one day, man. But our defensive tackle number 99 as of late has been on fire. 17 total tackles on the season, 2 sacks, 1 interception. Israel Lawrence in the secondary with 27 total tackles and a tackle for loss. Godley and Robinson on the ends are a quarterback's nightmare. And it will play the 21 rule this week. Like That's always something I said. If you can keep them underneath 21 points and I can get my offense to score 21 or more, we should win. That's exactly how Round Rock lost this past week, and that's the exact same game plan we're going to have to bring to that team. Keep them under 20. Let's get Robinson and Godley back there. Godley's got 3 sacks. Robinson's got 6 sacks. We can get to the quarterback. And yeah, let's see what the Maynard Mustangs could do if they can get that 2-1 district lead with theirs being Vandergrift, the only undefeated team, Stony Point, the only team who hasn't won. Del Valley takes a tough loss to Austin, 6-23. They are now 0-1 in district and 2-3 on the season. Del Valley has been. This has been the most exciting year I've had at Del Valley, and it's only 2.5 years, but the way Del Valley is playing football right now, man, it gets us so pumped up. We are ecstatic every single week calling those games. Daniel Chancellor, Kevin McAdams, and myself. And Del Valley has been awesome this year. In a tough loss, 6-23 offense. When they finally did get rolling in the second half, you'll see here Kevin Meeks has a really big catch, a really good catch to get you.
On a long third down try here, he's rolling out near side, has a man caught by Meeks at the 25-yard line.
Del Valley offense into the Austin territory. And Meeks has had a really good few catches these last few weeks. He had a rushing touchdown last week. So Meeks really opening up his offense on the offensive side his senior year. And then we get Joel Jordan over here, finally getting his PT, and he does what he does best. He got a good ankle breaker here, lowers that shoulder and delivers the wood as he's
snap, and Joel gets his number called again. Oh, nice little move to the outside, lowers the shoulder at the 15, and that is the kind of
he's running and falling forward with an aggressive run. JJ adds so much to this backfield with Dent and Cannell, and as you see, Cannell gets the tote here for about 15 yards out and a diving touchdown.
Mark Antonian Hodges in the backfield. Hodges gets his number called at the 5, tagging from behind. The dive in there with stick.
Him 8 touchdowns on the season. Once again, I had Carmelo Jones leading the defense with 8 tackles. I had Robinson with 7 tackles, 2 hurries, and a sack. Dent 7 tackles, 5 solos, 1 tackle for a loss and a hurry. Patman had 4 tackles and 2 pass deflections. Defensively, we've been a really good team. Offensively, we've been a really good team. We have shown that we can play some ball, and all I need from my Del Valley team is to play with passion and to play with purpose. Play with passion, play with purpose. Go out there, mean what you say what you mean, and take it to these dudes. You got Bowie this week. Bowie's a tough team, and I think Del Valley can win. I think this can stir up this district if Del Valley can take them at home and get this W. Play with passion, play with purpose. Go get that dub this week. Bowie is good as they're coming in 0-1 with a tough loss to Lake Travis last week, 44-6. Head coach Jeff Abels has been there forever, and he has. And kudos to him and his program and what they've done. They have been a team that really solidified that 4th spot in this district for a long time now. Cruz Tello on the season has 888 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Matabella has 304 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. There was a guy I saw running in the Maynard game that was a sophomore. I think his last name was Marino, and I haven't seen him since. But if that young man comes back, that is a very talented running back. Keep your eyes open for him. Rowan Wells has 19 receptions for 342 yards and 5 touchdowns. Reagan Cooper on defense has 63 total tackles already. We got to get helmets on that dude. Averaging 12.6 a game, a tackle for a loss, an INT, 2 pass deflections. And Mason East, 41 total, 5 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. So on the season, Del Valley has been very good, and it's been awesome calling it. Let's talk about the offense. Hodges, 8 rushing touchdowns already. Bradley Dent has 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 receiving. Mark Antony has passed for 3 passing touchdowns. You have Kevin Meeks, who had a rushing touchdown. You have Caden Nunez, who had a receiving touchdown. Offense has been clicking. Cyril Atkins has really turned it around for this Del Valley offense. Defensively, Robinson, this is what I have. This is unofficial because I haven't rewatched the game from this past week. I always do that on Wednesday. So right now I have them for 31 total tackles, 21 solo, 12 hurries, 5 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. I have Jones leading this Del Valley defense with 35 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 pass deflection. And Michael Dent tied with Robinson with 31 total tackles. He got 1 tackle for a loss, 2 INTs, 4 hurries, and a forced fumble. Del Valley, these young men, I'm super proud of y'all. Y'all keep kicking butt, keep doing what you do. Let's compete. Let's take Bowie at home. Let's get that dub. Let's make this interesting this week and get this district all stirred up. So we'll move on to Rockdale, who took an L against Grosbeck 32-21. Rockdale is right where I had them in the projection and the predictions earlier in the season. I said they would go into district at 3-2. I wasn't expecting Rockdale to be this dang good. I had them at 4th going into district, also in the predictions. I think they got a really good chance at taking 2nd or 3rd. And I even talked to Randall Stewart because he was like, "What, Franklin?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think Franklin will definitely take this district." And he was like, "Rockdale does good against the run, bro. You don't know." And so I hope. I'm all for it. If you can get that first, let's go. But right now, I think Rockdale is definitely in the grasp of 2nd or 3rd in this district with the way they're playing. Troy's going to surprise this district. I think they're going to sneak into these playoffs, and it's up to Rockdale, Little River, and Cameron to find out. But even McGregor's good. This district is just like Maynard's district. It's super tough. I don't think one team goes. I think everybody will get a win in district this year, and it's just going to be how the teams fall. But Rockdale does have a bye week, and they'll start district next week against Grosbeck. Williams did throw for 224 yards and a touchdown. Dre had 6 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown. The sophomore running back Butler had 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. Butler has been a really phenomenal sophomore running back. Williams, as a sophomore quarterback, has really got this offensive air game clicking. Dre has had a phenomenal year. I wouldn't doubt if he's not only going to be the single season record holder, I wouldn't doubt if this dude will be Rockdale's all-time leading receiver. DeAndre Stevens is something special. Brody Wheeler leading the Rockdale with 8 tackles and one forced fumble. Castro, as you'll see in our highlights, Castro gets a sack. And that great pressure, and Shepard getting 5 tackles as well. DeAndre in that 6 receptions and 115 yards. We got one of their highlights is Dre actually mosses this kid, and it was one of the highlights of the week that you could vote for, that I went and voted for, and this young man snags it right over his head, man, and then takes it to the house, as always, doing what Dre does. And so we got the Castro sack, and Jeremiah Butler, like I said, you can see here where he takes the Williams sets up a very good screenplay, and Butler patiently sets up those blocks, gets to the edge, and takes it up the sideline for a really good gain. On this season, Williams has passed for 939 yards and 7 touchdowns. DeAndre Stevens has accounted for 547 of those yards with 26 receptions and 5 touchdowns. Jeremiah Butler has toted the rock 57 times for 235 yards and 3 touchdowns. Shepard leads the defense with 48 total tackles. That dude's an animal on defense. He's a great wide receiver. Eric Shepard is an athlete. 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. Willard has 30 tackles on the season, and Sortho has 28 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. Like I said, Rockdale will have a bye week this upcoming week, so will Cameron. Cameron is now 0-5 on the season with a tough loss to Mahia. First time not scoring 0-35. The Yeomans have had some struggles at with injuries and players not being on the field, and so as Coach Babineau's getting this program tightened up, I don't see. I definitely see this is going to be a team that's going to be competing in this district, that's going to be giving it a run, and I definitely think it's still a team that can make the playoffs. And the talent is outrageous, and it starts with Hubnick. Hubnick has already thrown for 315 yards, and this is only in 3 games, I believe. 315 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 336 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Tim Grice averages 4.8 yards a carry with 295 and 1 touchdown. And Toto Vargas, this young man has looked great this year. 16 receptions, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns. You have had 5 quarterbacks for Cameron. And you've seen some really good quarterbacks in Jacoby Scott and Travion Miles, and I can't think of them all right now, but a lot of younger gentlemen stepping up and playing the game very well. So Cameron is going to be something that's not only ready for the future, they're ready to play now. And so don't look past that. Xavier Gilmon has been phenomenal defensively with 52 total tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack. De La Fuentes, 49 total tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 hurry. And Michael Keith, 21 total tackles, 2 sacks, 3 hurries, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. And then you got Damon Flemings with that pick six that I'll like to show you here. Man, what a great play. Dude takes it to the house, and I just want to make sure this is going to be one of the top plays, which next week I do plan on bringing you the top 10 touchdowns of the first 5 weeks that I have. I think I'll do a show in one of these upcoming next 2 weeks. I'm going to have a bye. I'm going to take myself a bye week. And yeah, but for right now, guys, it's a great season. Keep your heads up for those that are struggling. The teams that are starting to turn it around, Taylor, keep going, keep fighting. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. Check out these intros. Hit that subscribe button. And on the intros and outros, we got new highlights. Check out the highlights. Thankful of Nancy Zinner of Cardinal Sports Network, Alderete, Kendra Pinchback. The list goes on and on. If I forgot you, I'll make sure that we leave it in the details. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the show, and I'm going to leave you here with this awesome outro. Check out If.
1,